Hello, welcome to the studio. My name is Austin. If you're watching this video when it came out, then I recorded this just a few hours ago. It's 1:25 in the morning, and I'm getting this done as quickly as I can because I'm in the middle of building myself a sound booth for my workspace, and my folks are in town, and I've got work due for clients. It's been a busy one, so we're going to walk through a little bit of key pose work that I did for the channel's mascot, Phil, who will be very soon applied to the chatbot that operates in the Twitch chat. That's a custom-made chatbot that I'm porting over into Unity, so that I can give it a little more life and more personality and interactivity for the viewers. So, starting with an idle pose, because, you know, if it's going to be showing different poses to react, I need a baseline for it to jump back to the way it's probably going to look most of the time until I get on towards something with some animation. So I rough it in with the blue, and then I bulk out the musculature with the red, and then I go ahead and move right along to putting the clothes down with some purple, because I don't need to do too much in the way of sculpting. It's a pretty simple character. I can just use green to throw down some small detail structure, like for the hands, and then I can move on to the line work. These things are supposed to be really simple, and also I was kind of challenging myself to get several of them done within a single 3-hour stream. To that point, I'm going to be talking through the process while we're doing this idle pose, and then for the rest of them, it's going to be much of the same, so instead we'll be talking more about what the poses are and what I'm going to be using them for. So we're going to continue on with our line work here following the sketch that I laid out, and then I'm going to try and really emphasize these key details. It's still a concept sketch, but that means you really want to highlight the main things, like the big round light bulb head. You've got the hat made out of the filament. I'm going to go through and really try to crisp up that sweatshirt when we get down to there. It's all about just kind of trying to make it look clean and like visually clear without being too cluttered or noisy. Even with the hand there on the near side, that being so close to the sweater closed up the corner there, and I don't know, things didn't look quite separated enough. I'm still honestly not too happy about it. It could use some work, but it's much better now. Rather than spend too much time on that, I moved on and finished off the line work, and I shifted his legs over because he was looking a little out of proportion to me, and with that, this idle pose was pretty much done. With the remaining poses here, I'm not doing too many, so I want them to be sort of broad in their usefulness. So we're starting with kind of a general inquisitive look. I am shaping the filament out of the hat shape and into a question mark. That's a motif I'm going to keep the whole time with the rest of these. Ended up being a really fun way to give the poses a little more personality. Probably going to make trouble for myself later when I'm trying to animate it, to be honest. But I do think the design is like kind of incredulous, but not giving too much specificity so that I can apply this to, you know, if somebody in chat says something weird, or if he pulls up a weird quote that's got a weird connotation, you know, and anything that's sort of vaguely, I can just apply this to. The most important thing is that these poses read really clearly. He's going to be very small and in the corner of the screen. He's not the focus of anything, so if somebody glances over and sees him, I want it to be really obvious what the emotion is that's supposed to be coming across. The question mark proved to be a little difficult when I got to the cleanup stage, but I think we got something that's pretty functional. Maybe could do better on a second pass, but honestly, I'm quite happy with it. The rest of it, like I said, is just putting down the body posture in a way that reads extremely clearly and shows off the emotion that we're trying to convey. So I just really wide stance, nice wide hands up in a shrug position. I think it's perfectly clear. And I'm not trying to go too anatomically precise with anything, so the hands just kind of come out as these noodly fin dealies, and I think it looks fine. It's proven to be an exercise in letting it be. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good, or whatever. It needs to be good enough. It's just a concept. I'm fine. Why are you upset? I'm definitely not upset. I can tell you that much. Anyway, next one, I'm not even really going to call, like, specifically anger or disgust or anything. We're going to go with exclamation point face. So this could apply to, like any of them, a lot of different emotions. And this is kind of covering our general bad. So I've got this nice, I'm trying to keep him cute. So I'm doing almost like a kind of anime anger pose. And I think it's working really well with his sort of childlike body proportions to make him look angry, but not really that threatening. And again, it's a pose that I think comes across really clearly and in a way that's not going to be very ambiguous to anybody that's just catching a glimpse of it in the corner of the screen. As my relationship with this mascot character goes on, I can already feel I'm going to grow to hate the decision of making it a light bulb. That screw at very different angles drives me absolutely nuts. Exclamation point was way easier to do as a filament, by the way, for obvious reasons, just a much simpler shape. So, that turned out fine. And so did the hands, as a matter of fact. In hindsight, this one might be my favorite. So if that one was negative, this one is our general positive. So what better to take as inspiration for that than Vault Boy? I'm going for a kind of general Vault Boy giant thumbs up look, and with, you know, like the real force perspective on the hand. I try to get that together early in this sketch, and you can see I even scaled up the hand even more, made it more dramatic. It's basically the size of his entire body at this point, and just gave him that strong stance to back it up. This one really doesn't require too much thought, you know? Get a nice clean pose. The silhouette even doesn't matter that much, because if I were to do this for use on screen, when I finally clean this up, I'll give that hand a nice bold outline and it'll push the rest of his body into the background. Now I'm doing this all at once, but I think this is the only other time that I just use the regular hat, because the thumb is already a symbol as it is. It felt like a hat on a hat, so to speak. I did struggle with the teeth. I feel like I always struggle with trying to make teeth cute. I think we got something here by doing just the football stitch teeth. Good enough, but like I said, there are several things here that I'd like to come back and revisit. One in particular at the end that we'll get to. Anyway, moving on. For the next one, it was time to turn to the lovely chat of one. Thank you, Melody, for some ideas as we move forward, and we came to the agreement that we needed a thinking pose almost as much as we need an idle pose, so I used the reference of the statue, the thinker, you know, the guy that looks like he's sitting on the toilet. And with that reference up on the screen, we got through this rough sketch extremely quickly. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think we got the pose pretty good. And, of course, I mean, you know, I gotta make the filament a thought bubble, right? It's the thinker. We're thinking. Of course it's gotta be a thought bubble. That one was easy peasy. Kinda got the benefit of a little bit of a shortcut with the hands. The way they're all folded up, you don't have to see too much, which means I can hide most of it. And, then it was time to slap down some line work. Roughed in that shape, still hate that screw on the light bulb. You can see it takes more than a couple tries every single time I'm trying to do the bulb to get a nice smooth curve, but it is worth it to push through it in the end. And look at that, just the little mitten hands. So easy. Love when I can get away with not doing hands. You gotta do them, but god, they're just the worst, aren't they? I'm trying to point out what I don't like as much as what I do as we're going along here. This near side arm is definitely a little bit too long. I think we get away with it because he's got sort of an alien build, like a little, you know, a giant-headed green or gray alien. So we get away with it. We put that one in the stack and we moved on to the last sketch. This one has a connection to some of the features I'm planning on adding to the chatbot. I want him to be kind of a Tamagotchi, basically, that the chat has to take care of. I want him to be able to be fed with the Twitch channel points. So I'm working on how that's going to integrate with the Twitch IRC to make sure that they can feed him with interactions. But this is the sketch that's going to represent that as soon as I figure out the code. So here he is eating what I think we're going to call volts. That was my wife's idea for what to call the food for him. I'm a big fan. Don't pay attention to the fact that that hand is backwards. You're not seeing it. And that's definitely not the thing I was mentioning that I'm deeply ashamed of. The hand's backwards, I'm no better than an AI. I am, of course. I mean, but what kind of bar is that to clear, right? Boogers smeared on a napkin are more art than what comes out of an AI. Anyway, filament for this one is kind of a Minecraft hunger bar turkey leg thing. I don't know if that counts as a reference. I mean, turkey leg means food in a lot of different cultures? Is Minecraft a culture? Sure. Anyway, that's the end of the story for us today. So I finished up this one, and that's going to be what we plug into programming, which is going to come in a future video. I've done a little bit of work with it. I'm not in a place where I'm happy to like make any content out of it or anything. Again, don't look at the backwards hand. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. It's been a blast as always. If you want to check out all the content on the channel, look at the main channel, the studio. If you're looking for a more tailored feed, please check out the sister channels. You can find all of those in the description. Look at the Patreon if you want to support, and check out the Twitch if you want to join us live. I will be streaming this Tuesday the 30th. Take care.
Oh my god, I'm doing the edit. The hand isn't even backwards. What the hell was I talking about? It's 2:30 in the morning. It's been a long week. I'll see you next week.